Hello everyone. Welcome to my channel Turkish Spotlight Secrets. Today I'm bringing you a long-form, story-driven deep dive into a subject you've been requesting non-stop, Alp Navruz and Alina Boz. We'll trace how a quiet friendship turned into the most discussed confession of the season, unpack the timeline fans put together, and ask what this means for both their private lives and professional futures. All the details are in the video. If you enjoy careful, respectful coverage instead of empty noise, please press like, subscribe, and, if you want to support us even more, click the join button below. Thank you, and let's get into it. From the day they first shared a frame years ago at a network launch, Alp Navruz and Alina Boz seemed to carry a rare ease, two actors who could talk about scenes in the precise language of craft while also laughing about the most ordinary things: traffic, tea, terrible call times. For a long time, that was all it was. Colleagues. Friends. People who understood the same grind. But in the world of Turkish entertainment, familiarity never stays private for long. Any backstage smile becomes a theory. Any shared taxi becomes a headline. That low hum turned into a chorus this winter. It started, as these things often do, with tiny, almost invisible overlaps. Back-to-back interviews where both spoke about valuing patience over spectacle. Separate posts about protecting what's fragile when it's still taking root. Nothing dramatic, nothing definitive, just a rhythm that felt in sync. Then came the panel night. They weren't on stage together, but the schedule placed them an hour apart, in the same hall, with a green room separated by one thin partition. Someone recorded 30 seconds of hallway footage, no touch, no whisper, just two passing silhouettes that slowed for a heartbeat. The clip spread across fan pages within minutes. The captions were all the same: something's changed. What pushed speculation over the edge wasn't a photo. It was a sentence. In a sit-down interview that was supposed to focus on Alp's upcoming project, the host asked a question that had chased him all week. How did he feel about Alina's personal life being discussed so loudly, especially the baby talk that had turned social media into a rumor factory? Alp inhaled once, looked down at his hands, and then said the line that would set every platform on fire: "I don't measure love against headlines, baby rumors or otherwise. My feelings for Alina aren't conditional." The clip was 8 seconds long. It was enough. Within hours, that moment fractured the internet into 3 camps. The first fed on adrenaline: "He's declared it, end of story." The second camp counseled caution: "Affection isn't a press release, let them breathe." The third camp tried to read every syllable like a code. What did "aren't conditional" really mean? Was he refusing to be boxed in by other people's narratives, or was he announcing his own? The longer Alp stayed off his phone, the louder everyone else became. Here's what the timeline suggests. A week before the interview, Alina had stepped back from day-to-day updates, posting only still life images: a window with rain, a book on a table, the edge of a scarf. Her captions were about energy, silence, protection. Those who know her work recognized the pattern: it's how she prepares for emotionally dense roles. The difference this time was the public's investment in details that belonged to her alone. As chatter ballooned, her friends wrapped tighter around her. Fewer tagged locations, no casual resharing of gossip accounts, no breath wasted on denial or confirmation. The message was clear without ever being spoken: when the air gets thin, close the windows. And then came Alp's sentence. The phrasing mattered. He didn't say, "I don't care about a baby." He didn't treat a rumor as a toy. Instead, he refused the most common trap in celebrity culture: weighing affection on a scale built by strangers. "My feelings aren't conditional" shifts the spotlight from the noise to the principle. It doesn't claim ownership. It doesn't reduce a woman's life to a headline to be argued over. It says, "I decide how I feel. You don't." Insiders, people who have worked in the same circles, describe what happened next as a communications freeze. No rebuttals, no clarifications, no opportunistic marketing tie-ins. Alp fulfilled his contractual promo, but steered every answer back to work. Alina turned her social presence into a quiet diary of textures and tones. No faces, just atmospheres. Meanwhile, the industry did what it always does, negotiated schedules, balanced sensitivities, and asked the only question that matters professionally: what's next? There are 3 scenarios getting serious traction behind the scenes. Scenario 1, a private reconciliation. Not the tabloid version, not a spectacle. A careful, adult reconnection between 2 people who have earned each other's trust over time. This is the version favored by those who know how softly both of them move when things matter. If this is real, you won't see it announced. You'll see serenity. You'll see fewer slip-ups. You'll see the online temperature drop because the offline temperature is stable. Scenario 2, a professional reunion. A limited series with a compact schedule and a tone neither has attempted together, less rom-com sparkle, more layered drama. The idea that circulates in pitch decks is elegant: 2 creators forced to collaborate while each manages an overwhelming private life. The hook is not "are they or aren't they?" The hook is, can 2 disciplined people create something honest without bleeding in front of the camera? Casting directors love this because it turns the pressure into fuel. Fans love it because it promises a new flavor of chemistry: quieter, denser, riskier. Scenario 3, a respectful boundary pact. Not an ending. A framework. One conversation in a quiet room where both agree: no weaponizing nostalgia, no coy games, no using each other's names to keep the algorithm warm. In this version, Alp's sentence wasn't a door opening, it was a fence line: clean, dignified, necessary. It allowed him to honor his feelings without demanding anything from Alina, and gave her space to shape her life without audience instructions. What would each scenario look like from the outside? If it's reconciliation, expect silence to be the loudest sign. If it's a project, expect boring paperwork trails to lead the story, production office sightings, overlapping call sheets, a director known for protecting actors from gossip. If it's a boundary pact, expect both stars to shift focus aggressively toward craft, training posts, table reads, pages of scripts, so that every question about us gets answered by work. The most moving part of the aftermath has been the letters, yes, letters, that poured into fan accounts and production offices. People who have never met Alp or Alina wrote about their own lives, about loving someone through a pregnancy not their own, about choosing grace over gossip, about learning that acceptance is not performance. Those messages remind us why this story resonates. It isn't because 2 famous faces might be together. It's because 2 human beings modeled a different way to talk about care in public, without making anyone a prop. Let's address the criticism, too, because it's fair to consider. Some viewers felt Alp's line, however principled, stirred a pot already near boiling. Others argued that any public position invites intrusion. But there's an ethical distinction here. Saying, "my feelings aren't conditional," is not a claim on someone else's future or a comment on intimate details. It's a boundary stated as a value. If anything, it shut down the ugliest part of the rumor cycle, the part that reduces a woman's autonomy to a debate topic. It reframed the conversation around respect. What about Alina's side? Her silence is not a void, it's a choice. It tells us she understands the cost of letting algorithms choreograph her life. It tells us that some truths do not belong to the public, not even to fans who love her. And it tells us she's leading with the same strength she shows on screen, the strength to hold the center while everyone else pulls at the edges. Where does this leave us? In a better place than we were before the clip. Now we've heard a leading man say out loud that love does not take attendance from gossip. Now we've watched a leading woman refuse to let curiosity tax her dignity. And now we've seen a fandom capable of real tenderness, capable of sending blessings instead of demands, of choosing patience over pressure. If you want more content like this, deep timelines, context first, compassion always, make sure you're subscribed and your notifications are on. And tell me in the comments, which scenario do you find most convincing right now? Private reconciliation? Professional reunion? Or a boundary pact that redefines how these 2 are allowed to exist in the same narrative without being consumed by it? If enough of you are interested, I'll bring in a casting director and an intimacy coordinator to talk about how decisions like these are made, and how productions protect actors when the public conversation gets too loud. Thank you so much for watching this video. Your support, likes, comments, and memberships lets us stay independent and careful. I'll see you in the next one. Take care, and goodbye.